Hi and welcome to Facebook Live Focus on Africa or BBC Africa. It's me, Victoria Uwangunda, live from Kampala. As you can see in the background, beautiful sunset. But that is not why I am here. I'm here with Benjamin. I'm sorry I cannot say your last name. What is your surname, Benjamin?
Well, my last name is Bagyema. It's more of a southwestern name. Yeah, for the Bachiga, if you know that tribe. So my name is Bagyema Benjamin.
So guys, we are here with Bagyema Benjamin. He is almost 14 years old, funnily enough, and yet you are a motivational speaker. What does that mean?
Well, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a peer trainer, actually, to be more specific, a peer trainer on basic financial literacy. Now, what that means, well, you take out the words. Peer trainer means, on average, mostly I talk to my fellow age mates about money issues. Now, you may be thinking, what's this kid doing?
Exactly, that is them in the comments that we had on Facebook where people saying, he's young.
Yeah.
What does he know? What does he have any money?
So yeah, that's the kind of reaction I get from many people who I meet, and they're all like, man, you're too young to do this. But really the point of money is you just have to keep reading. You have to understand these things, because one thing I know, when I like watching National Geographic a lot, and anyone can get to learn anything. Even a baby can get to learn anything as long as you teach them. You know, it's more of a skilling. I do this more of as a skill, because one very important thing that many of our children don't know is skilling. Usually our education system here in Uganda is a bit, how do I put this in a non-offensive way, but it's not going beyond.
Sorry to cut you through. Are you talking about the state educational system?
Yes, it's not going all too beyond. It's not seeing the bigger picture. See, we go to school really early, and really all we do is books and just books. We don't really do much more than that. So the education system here should introduce a bit more of skilling.
Can you give us like examples?
Speaking. Yeah, there's public speaking, there's cookery, there's lots of things that children of our age don't know how to do, and all they really think about, and all their parents really told them to think about, is books, and that's really it. And so this child grows up, goes to college, is done with college, and looks for a job. But what's the problem? He doesn't know how to speak in public. Messes up his job application and his appearance. And really, the people who employ us nowadays are not looking for someone who's doing well in their career. They're looking for someone who's well asserted, someone who can speak in public, someone whose mind is vast and can do many things.
Clearly, you can speak in public, and you have a mind that clearly has so many things vast. So I am here with Benjamin. He is a young motivational speaker. He is from Kampala, and I'm on the Kampala set of Focus on Africa TV and Dira right behind me. So if you've been hearing the noises, you've seen people smiling out and about, that is what they are doing. They're getting ready for their shows. We are Facebook Live, so keep those comments and questions coming in for Benjamin. But before I get so many questions from other people, I got a couple. I read somewhere that you, Benjamin, have one of your life goals is to actually make $1 million by the time you're 18. And that is in 4 years. How do you plan to do that?
Well, yeah, $1 million. Sometimes I look back on this goal and I'm like, am I crazy or something? I mean, $1 million, no I don't think there's any child out there who has made $1 million by the time they're 18. Well, but I'm a very big fan of Mark Zuckerberg, and he made $1 million way before. I think it was before he was 18 by that time.
So is he your idol, Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, he is, because I'm a really big fan of IT, and I like coding. That's what I plan to do at college. And so, but looking at where I'm at and the education system, by the time I'm 18, I'm depending on the education system to be able to make this $1 million. It won't be possible. So I'm looking at quite a number of options, like real estate. I have land, so
You have land? Or you mean your father's land or your own land?
My own land.
You have land?
Yeah.
Please, how did you get this land? I mean, again, you are so impressive. You're 14 years old, Benjamin. How do you get land at 14?
So once upon a time, in 2015, I was nominated by an organization called Child Youth Finance International, which is based in the Netherlands. And so I was sponsored by quite a number of organizations like the Bank of Uganda, Crane Bank, and other organizations, so that I'm able to travel, because it was in the middle of school by the time that happened. But I had to do this. This was a very important part of my career, my development. So I really had to do this and travel to get the award. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that because my school had to clash with this whole
Well,
program.
clearly, they can just let you go. So how do you do usually when it's in the middle of the school year? Like you're just not giving us an example. How often would they let you go?
Well, not very often, because actually I was in a candidate class and I was more of like, it's a death situation if I would fail. It was a candidate class, and so I had to make sure I was at my best performance that year. And so it was really difficult to just travel. Yeah. So the money that I had raised to travel, I used it to buy land because it was quite a good amount of money. So I bought land, and now I'm looking to build.
You want to build a house on your land?
Yes.
All right. So again, guys, we are Facebook Live with Benjamin here. He is a young motivational speaker. As you just heard, if you just joined us, he bought land 2 years ago, and he's planning to build a house, which is quite something for a young man like yourself. And we're getting comments in, and there is someone called Carla Amanda Brown. She says, you can totally make $1 million. You can make more than $1 million. Set your eyes on the prize and go forth. We're getting so many people who are watching. We've got somebody in Lusaka, that's Ezron Mwape. We've got somebody here in Uganda and somebody in Ghana. So guys, keep those comments coming in. As you can see, he really is good at talking, and I'm sure he can give us tips. So what to do to save money? Child or adult, anyone?
Yeah. Okay, so this is like going to cut across, because whether you're a child or an adult, usually it's the same thing, the same question they always ask. How do I save money? I have a job, and as it is in Uganda, I don't earn enough. These are all the excuses they give. But there are quite a number of ways to save money. I'm just going to give a few more realistic ones so that they can also cater for the adults. So as people, we usually spend money on, well, how do I put this? Things that we don't actually really need, and
Give us examples.
Well, for example, you have a job, and so every morning you go to work, and in the afternoon you go take a lunch break. And so you either buy like a soda, a Coca-Cola to cool. But when you get back home, see, the amount of money you spend on the Coca-Cola for the lunch break, when you get back home, there's what they call water. And usually there's a bill we pay for the water, right?
Yes.
And so more or less you have this water flowing, and you can boil this water and put it in a bottle and carry it to work instead of actually spending the money on a soda. And so a soda is about what? It's about $2, I think. I think it's just $1. Yeah, it's just $1. And so if you're able to save $1 a day, this amount of money that you would have spent on, I don't know what, on whatever other things you'd have wanted to buy, if you take your time, if you choose to save this money instead of using it to buy something that's not actually even income earning, and it's just to satisfy your needs, and not for a very long time actually, it's just a short time, like 30 minutes of refreshment. And so if you save $1 a day, I mean in a week, that will be what? $7. In a month, that will be 31. In a year, those are 365 days. So that will be $365. And that's good money. That's good money. $365 a year. I mean, for anyone who has a job and has not been doing that, I'm guessing none of you. I'm pretty much sure not many of you have saved $365, even with the discipline. Just saving $365 without taking the money out of the bank account just because it's there. It's pretty much difficult for anyone to do that.
All right, let me just ask you a quick question before we go. Have you managed to save this $365 yourself?
Well, I've saved quite a bit much more than that. Well, I have goals because part of financial literacy is learning how to set goals, learning how to set goals for yourself, targets, so that you can achieve them. And so I have financial goals. When I started out, I started with a financial goal of $200. And then the next year, I said $500. And at one point, I raised the bar to $1,000. So every time you put a target and you achieve it, you just keep raising the bar so that you achieve the target.
Once again, guys, I remind you that this is Victoria Wonhunda from Focus on Africa Radio, but we are also, as you can see behind me, people are mulling about. It is TV time. They are setting up for their shows. That's both for Focus on Africa TV and Dira ya Dunia. As you can see, it's a beautiful set. Sunset is on, so it's a beautiful skyline. And behind me, if you've seen behind me and Benjamin, if you've been seeing people dancing, I can tell you those are Kampala's own ghetto kids. So they are also getting ready to go on air soon. But I am here with Benjamin, a young motivational speaker who at the age of 14 is giving advices to so many other people. So we're getting comments on Facebook. As I said, many people are watching in. They're coming in from all over the place. We've got somebody from Somaliland. We've got somebody who is in China, but he says he's Nigerian. And somebody's now asking, Jonathan Chitakunye is asking, what is your vision for the future that will impact your fellow youth?
Well, my vision is for the government to actually realize what's really missing in this education system in Uganda. Because many children, and this actually goes for everyone, even rich kids, even the poor kids, the education they're getting is really not teaching them more about developing themselves. It's teaching them how to develop their career. See, the problem with developing your career is that you're developing your career so that you get a job, so that you earn a living. But our goal as a world economy is for every person not to be just making a living, but for everyone to make their fortune. Everyone would want to make their fortune. I mean, if that were possible and it could just fall out of the sky, I mean, everyone would have wanted that. And so the education system should really improve on things like skilling. And it's really going to be hard because even where I go to school, there isn't much of that. Not really much of that. And the education system now has gone a bit far from the point of teaching children to the point of making money, because that's the biggest issue right now. And getting grades. So when you get good grades, that means the school gets publicity, and that means more children go to the school. So the school makes more money, and that's really the drill for the school. And right now, that's what the schools are looking at. They're not looking at developing the child more.
It's so strange. It's funny that you mentioned that, Benjamin, because one of the comments that has come in is from Son Ayidison March. He says, African leaders should look after their young people like him and keep supporting them.
Yes.
So say that you've now pushed your years to when you become a millionaire, because literally $1 million will make you a millionaire. Do you have time to be a kid? Like, you're 14 years old.
Yeah, I'm 14. That means I do all kinds of stuff that 14-year-olds would do. I love playing soccer. I love playing video games. I don't like keeping my Xbox away from me too long. because it
So
hurts.
there is a kid in there.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, so I do all kinds of stuff that normal kids do.
So where do you get the time between, because you have a blog, a little bird whispered in my ear that you're writing a book and you are a motivational speaker, so you are all over the place. Where do you get the time to do all this and go to school and still be a kid?
Well, it's about time management. See, we have 24 hours in a day, and really what matters is how you use those hours, because 12 hours is usually school. The other 8 hours are for sleeping. So there's the 4 hours that are remaining. And in those 4 hours, there'll be the playing and stuff like that. So somehow you have to try and make the time. The time will not always be there. I can't tell you that the time is there. And it's very difficult to make the time, but you have to make time for these things. See, for you to be what others are not, you have to sacrifice some things. Sometimes I don't go to play soccer. Why? Because I haven't yet finished my manuscript for the book, or I've not yet worked on the blog, because I'm supposed to post the blog every Sunday evening. And so if I've not worked on it, I have to skip soccer.
So you make sacrifices.
Yeah,
all right.
To make sacrifices.
Comments are coming in from all over the place. Somebody saying, so Baye Biezahu from Ethiopia, this question he's already answered. So he's asking, Baye Biezahu, he or she's asking, who is your role model? And Benjamin did tell us that Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, is one of his role models. And somebody is asking, Kasidi Bufule is asking, are you going to go around Uganda to spread your knowledge?
Well, around is quite a difficult thing, because I'm now in high school, and in Uganda here it's called boarding school, so like you're not at home.
But you get some time off when you have your holidays. Do you plan to travel around the country to motivate young people other people like yourself?
Well, I cannot be able to do that because I am one person against how many? Well, our population is about, 36 million now? Yeah, and so that's why we're working on a partnership. We're working on a partnership with Bank of Uganda so that this can go out to many others. This can be spread out into schools, because I, as one person, cannot actually do it on my own. And that's why we're working on a partnership, so that this financial education can go out to many other people without me having to be the one to do it.
So we have a question. Somebody is watching from Australia saying, will you support other young people like yourself when you actually finally make it with that 1 million?
Well, yes. See, one thing about being rich, or what you said as a millionaire, is you have to keep your humble side of a person, and that means I love charity. I love supporting people. I mean, by the time I'm 18 and I have $1 million, what will I do with it?
Yeah, what will you do with it?
I don't really know. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do with $1 million, because I'm also still more or less learning about money, and so sometimes people make a lot of money and don't know how to use it for what to use it for, and they end up spending it recklessly. And so I love giving out to charity. I was at the cancer ward at Mulago last year, and I met a boy who was in the same class as I am. They amputated his leg from bone marrow cancer. And so the charity part of it also teaches you to keep a part of you that is humorous. You keep your humility. You learn that, yes, you're rich, you become famous and stuff like that, but you learn to keep the discipline side of you. And so that you don't do stuff like drugs. I shouldn't be saying this on air. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me. And Benjamin, are you Benjamin or Benji? Or Ben?
both of them can work.
Both of them can work. Thank you for your comments and your questions. My name is Victoria Wohund and I'm with BBC Africa. So we are rounding up. As you can see again in the background, those are the ghetto kids getting ready. They are prepping for their now Swahili TV. Dira ya Dunia is coming out soon. Same frequency, same time. So I'm going to take Benjamin to go now and do his radio interview. So watch out, guys. We are coming in less than an hour. We are live from Kampala. Bye for now.